Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 7 hardest Tekken bosses. Like some other fighting game franchises, Tekken has boasted its own selection of difficult bosses over the years, and these were the ones that gave us the most trouble. Have you managed to conquer any of these adversaries? Which one did you have the most trouble with? Let us know in the comments below. Now, let's get ready for some good-ass Tekken.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Heihachi Mishima, Tekken 7. In comparison to the other bosses, Kazumi is the easiest to fight against. That isn't to downplay everything about her, she's still a tough boss. Heihachi's wife has some of the same unfair moves as previous bosses, such as using demonic wings to fly up and charge into opponents. She can also summon her tiger at a moment's notice and employ a couple of attacks similar to Heihachi. That's not even the worst part. Without warning, Kazumi can fire off a laser beam in a manner similar to Devil Kazuya and Devil Jin. Even without these nonsensical abilities, Kazumi can rush down quickly and efficiently enough to put your back against the wall. If you can do a bit of zoning or play more defensively, she shouldn't be much of a problem, but for the most part, she'll do enough to make the fight as harrowing for you as possible.
Round 2. Fight.
Heihachi Mishima, Tekken. Of the few times where Heihachi acted as the final boss, this is definitely where he was the most difficult. What's funny is that it's not even the character himself that makes the fight so tough. The very first Tekken came out in 1995, and the controls haven't aged well. The advancements in modern gaming and controls make the input delay painfully obvious, and it can potentially make you mess up combos. As for Grandpa Mishima himself, Heihachi can make quick work of you in just a couple of moves. Not only do his punches deal a ton of damage, but many of his attacks are impossible to punish. The one move to watch out for? The Demon Uppercut. One hit with that will send you flying high into the air, and all Heihachi needs to do after is land a basic combo. Bam, you're done, game over.
Round 2. Fight.
Kazuya Mishima, Tekken 2. While Tekken 2's controls were a significant improvement over its predecessors, it still didn't make our fight with Kazuya any easier. Again, that input delay, it's painfully obvious. Technical age aside, Kazuya's fight is a tough two-parter. You'll fight him in his normal state first, and he's not really a cakewalk. Kazuya's AI is smart enough to recognize all the usual trappings, how to escape throws quickly, and will block most of your attacks without fail. Mix-ups will be your best friend here, and once you've won 2 rounds, things change. You'll have to endure another 2 rounds with Kazuya, but against him in his devil form this time. With his newfound powers, Kazuya can fire off laser beams from on the ground and even mid-air. Oh, and he doesn't even need to hit you with the beam, just standing too close to him will damage you. Complete 90s fighting game nonsense. Jun Kazama, Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Round 1. Fight.
While Jun Kazama was the final boss in the first Tekken Tag Tournament as the mysterious unknown, her appearance in the sequel is arguably much harder. Whereas the previous game only required you to win 1 round against her, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 retains the standard rule set, 2 rounds required to win. Jun doesn't mess around here either. While some of her previous moves have been removed, her moveset in general has been expanded upon, with a focus on chaining attacks together, some of them even being counterattacks. The fight only gets tougher when you win the first round. After 1 loss, Jun transforms into Unknown and throws a tantrum and corrupts the entire dreamy background. Under this new form, she'll utilize other moves such as a wind geyser and constructs made of slime. Oh, and throughout the fight, Jun will regenerate lost health. So yeah, Jin's mother will smack the crap out of you. Heihachi Mishima. Yeah, you thought the Mishima bloodline was over. Tekken 5. Whereas our previous bosses eased us into the absurd power they wield, Jinpachi accelerates the stakes just in the opening cutscene. The old man rage morphs into his demonic form, and it's freaking terrifying, dude! But the fear doesn't end there. Jinpachi is the most overpowered, most broken character in all of Tekken 5 on account of his high damage output and BS powers. This old fart can teleport around, shoot fireballs from his stomach, take flight, who can't at this point, and use a number of attacks that are either unblockable or put you in an incredibly long stun state. Does he have any weaknesses? By some chance, is there any way that we can exploit this guy just to make the fight easier? No. He just walks really slow, and even then, he has a few methods to close the distance. Seriously, this prune can get thrown off a cliff. Akuma, Tekken 7. Is it really any surprise to see Akuma on the list? While Kazumi serves as the final boss in Tekken 7's arcade mode, you can sometimes face Akuma instead. And man, it's almost like Bandai Namco ripped him straight out of Street Fighter. Akuma pulls all of the tricks in the book. The teleporting, the Hadoukens, the Shoryukens, and even the ultimate Wrath of the Raging Demon. The fight against him in the main story is a different fight altogether. More projectiles, more rushdown, more damage resistance. It all makes him a total nightmare. Honestly, mad props to those of you who managed to defeat him with a perfect 10 stars. Really, you deserve the utmost respect. Azazel, Tekken 6. Even having been through the absolute bullshit employed by Akuma and Jinpachi, we'd still say Azazel is the hardest Tekken boss, period. Jinpachi is still beatable, and the main story fight against Akuma gives you your own unique powers to fight with, so both fights are somewhat balanced in a way. You just gotta find it. Azazel, on the other hand, requires you to beat him through normal means while he gets to use a variety of asinine abilities. We're talking super armor, teleporting from the sky at random, and that does hurt you, by the way. It is not blockable. Summoning crystal spikes from the floor, sending bats that blend into the environment after you, which means you can't even detect where they're at. You just gotta, if he makes the move, you gotta just block it. Just block it until you see the particle effects. And he resists most of your attacks. It's also nearly impossible to launch him, as he falls super quickly and does not flinch from most moves. So juggling is almost out of the question. You need to land consecutive hits to get him in the air, and as if the preceding fight against Jin wasn't bad enough, which let me tell you, Jin has enough nonsense going on in his fight, Azazel really made us steer clear of Tekken 6. But you know what? After nearly 30 minutes fighting him as Christy Montero, I freaking beat him. I beat his ass into the ground. If I can do it, you can totally do it. Does that mean I want to do it again? Hell no. But that's Azazel. Azazel sucks.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.